and welcome along to our latest video update on key areas of primary care finance. This month we're looking at preparing for the financial year end. As we are fast approaching the end of the financial year, there are certain tasks that need completing. This can often seem quite daunting, however, being prepared can really help out. The financial year runs from the 6th of April to the 5th of April the following year, and for accounts purposes, this will be the 1st of April to 31st of March the following year. So you'll shortly be preparing for the accounts year 1st of April 2024 to 31st of March 2025. Today we'll be looking at how you can prepare for this and what is required by your accountant to complete these year-end accounts. There are different softwares available to complete your bookkeeping on. However, the most common software that we see are IRIS-GP and Xero. If you use IRIS-GP, you will need to provide your accountant with a backup, whereas if it's a cloud-based system like Xero, you will just need to allow access to your accountant and they can view everything online. So, if you use IRIS-GP, you can run a yearly cash book by selecting Reports tab at the top, then Cash Book Reports, End of Year, and then Income and Expenditure by main and subcode. This splits all the income and expenditure per code and subcode used, and this is a great report to check if you're missing anything as it lists totals per month. IRIS-GP works on a cash basis, which means income and expenditure is recognised on the actual payment dates. It's quite an easy report to see if there's anything missing. For example, if you have 12 months worth of income that should have been received, you should see this all listed. For anyone that uses Xero, you can run an account transaction report, which allows you to see all income and expenditure listed per account. You can review this by selecting Accounting at the top, then Accounts Transactions. You will need to change the date range, so this will be for April 2024 to March 2025. And make sure you select all accounts, or alternatively, you can select individual accounts if you want to look at an individual account. Again, this can be checked for any missing information or mispostings. All the transactions will be listed by date, so you can easily see if anything is missing, especially for a month or for a certain quarter. If you use the accruals basis, which means the income and expenditure is recognised in the period in which they are earned and not paid or received, you need to make sure that all purchase and sales invoices and remittances are entered onto Xero using invoice dates. This is often referred to as using the ledger accounts. On Xero, you will also need to run off an age payable and receivables report, which will show all income due to be received or all expenditure that needs to be paid. It's important to check these reports over to see if there are any older items that maybe are still not due, or if something's duplicated and needs removing. So, after checking the reports and you think there's something missing, this needs investigating. You need to check that all income and expenditure hasn't been misposted. If so, this can be edited to use the correct code. Or you might not have actually received some income as expected, and a reminder needs to be sent off to receive the money. Sometimes entries are duplicated, especially if you do receive an invoice and statement. It might not necessarily have been paid twice, but it has been entered twice, and therefore something needs amending and deleting. So there are some other checks that we could do on other softwares to make sure that everything is in order for your year-end accounts. So is anything been posted in a miscellaneous or suspense code? Now, if this is a genuine miscellaneous item, please make sure the narrative states what it is for. However, if it's something that's been posted here that was originally unidentified, your accountant will need to know what this is for in order for it to be posted correctly in the year-end account. Sometimes these codes are used if the invoice or remittance wasn't available at the time. And if you still haven't received these invoices or remittance, you will need to chase these up with the supplier or the customer. Which, if you're unsure of who they were, check your bank statements and it should say who you've paid or who you've received the money from. You will also need to check that the bank has been reconciled and there are no unreconciled transactions. For both our IRIS-GP jobs and Xero jobs, you can run these unreconciled bank transaction reports to see if anything has been unreconciled. This report should be blank, but if there's something that's on here, you will need to know why. Now, it could be that some cash or checks were deposited in the bank, but they've not yet been cleared. Or it could be that you have duplicated something and it's on this unreconciled report as an error. If this is the case, the transactions will need amending and deleting. We also just need to check that all transactions are recognised properly. So just check that everything's using the correct codes and everything is expected. If something looks odd or is missing, please check why and amend this. We do often see multiple codes being used for the same item. So if this is the case, please try and just use one code only. You will also need to look at reconciling the bank loan and deposit accounts. If you have bank loans or deposit or savings accounts, please make sure these are all reconciled in your software. Sometimes these only require posting transactions for bank interest or bank charges, as most transfers will already be set up directly from the current accounts. You will also need to make sure the petty cash is reconciled, and any cash at the tin at the year end needs to agree to what's listed in your petty cash account. Now, we're just going to run through some items that your accountant will require in order to complete the year end. As we've previously spoken about, your accountant will require a backup of the software or access to a cloud-based system. If you do use IRIS-GP, take a recent backup of the data and email it to your accountant. We do recommend that you take monthly backups, but your accountant will only require one copy taken at the end of the year. They might request a further backup at a later date, which will include any income or expenditure received or paid after date. If you're using Xero or another cloud-based system, you will need to allow access to your accountant. Please note that once you've given access to your accountant, this doesn't need repeating each year. It's a one-off thing. Payroll records. You will need to provide monthly payroll summaries from the 1st of April 2024 to the 31st of March 2025, as well as any GP1 or NEST payment summaries and also any P32 PAYE records. These should be printed monthly from your payroll software. However, if you use an external company such as Fairway, you will receive the information electronically and these can be sent directly onto your accountant. Bank statements. You will need copies of all bank statements from the 1st of April 2024 to the 31st of March 2025. These will be for your current account and any deposit or savings accounts you have. This is the same for any loan or mortgage statements as well. And all statements will need providing, especially if you have multiple accounts. So please check that you have all the statements for the accounts. We often do see quarterly statements for these, therefore sometimes there is a slight delay in receiving these after the year end, but as soon as they are received, they can be sent on to your accountant. Purchase invoices. If you use Xero, all invoices can be saved as transactions on the software, and if you use IRIS-GP, all invoices should be provided either in date order or as per supplier. These need to be for the period 1st of April 24 to the 31st of March 25, and you must also provide any invoices dated up to the 31st of March 2025, but these may have been paid after date. These will help your accountant complete any creditors' summaries. Income invoices and remittances. Again, it's the same process as the purchase invoices. They can either be attached to the relevant transactions on Xero, or they can be provided in a date order, or as per income source. These need providing for the 1st of April 2024 to the 31st of March 2025. And also any invoices dated up to the 31st of March 2025, but this money might have been received after date. This will help your accountant complete a debtor summary. Petty cash records. Sometimes petty cash records are kept on your software. However, you can look after these manually and have a separate account for these. You will need to provide all information, and if your records are manually kept on a spreadsheet, absolutely fine, but make sure your starting balance and your closing balance agrees what was in the tin at the year end and what was at the beginning of the year. CQRS, there's a couple of reports from here. There'll be the 24-25 achievement summary and also the payment declaration. Both of these reports can be accessed under the Reports tab on CQRS Online. The achievement summary shows your total QOF achieved for the year, and the payment declaration is a larger report and it lists all your enhanced services claimed for the year and it splits them down per month. You can check the payment declaration report for your enhanced services to the GMS statements just to make sure everything's come in. You should also provide your accountant with a schedule of any sessions work for the partners and salaried GPs, as well as any profit sharing ratios for the partners for the whole year. If your practice uses a credit card or credit cards, you will need to provide details of the statements to make sure all transactions have been accounted for, and also be able to provide invoices from these. This sometimes can be difficult if various partners are using different cards, but you should collect all the information together and send these on. If you are a dispensing practice or the practice completes VAT returns, you will need to supply all details of either the monthly or quarterly VAT returns, including any supporting schedules. Your accountant will require a copy of your PCN accounts to the 31st of March 2025. How often there can often be a wait on these, waiting for the incoming and for the PCN accountant to complete these. Please keep talking to your PCN manager, and once you receive the accounts, please pass on to your accountant. Now, stock take needs completing. This needs to be completed on the 31st of March 2025 or as close to this date as possible. If you are a dispensing practice or require an external stock take, please remember to get this booked in as soon as possible. Your stock take should be for drugs and vaccines and any more expensive consumables. This shouldn't be for any stationery or computer consumables such as toners. You also don't need to provide your accountant with any stock that is supplied centrally. If you've received any cash or cheques, please try to get these deposited in the bank before the 31st of March. Thank you for listening. If we can support you or your practice in any way, or you would like to see us cover a particular topic, please get in touch.